Hello, we are live. This is JM Kaundo of this is JM Kaundo of Turning Point Africa. So we're gonna be talking about this story that has been trending on White Street, and it's about Robert Burale and the estranged wife, or what do you call it? So apparently, this happened in the podcast of um Makideo, the radio host. And what happened is that, and this is my opinion, guys, my pure opinion. So don't, crucify me because of what I think. But what happened is that Makideo invited we call him Robert Burale for the first time in his podcast. And the first question he popped up was why they divorced or why they separated with the sister. And Robert Burale was very professional. He tried to explain things in a manner that it was not trying to expose the wife or the former wife. He tried to be very professional, tried to talk things in a low tone, in a manner that respects, the boundaries. Because at the end of the day, they separated, and things that happened in their private life, they are not supposed to be exposed in the public domain. So Burali, according to me, he was very professional. He tried to at least try to bring things up in a manner that tries to protect, the former wife. Yeah, I try to explain why they separated. They say that good people, when they come together, sometimes when they come together earlier enough, or maybe too early, sometimes things do not work, and that probably what he thinks costed them their marriage, and they separated. So, well, that is according to him, and he tried at least to harmonize things up, and I respect him for that. Yeah, he's a man that I respect too much. Yeah, I have never followed him too much, although I listen to his conversation once in a while. Yeah, but to an extent that I am that guy who motivates himself. I am not that person who will focus on being motivated, because at the end of the day, it's from the inner circle that you can be able to motivate yourself. So my point and my whole thing now boils up to when Alex Makideo invited the sister. That's when now things went south. And I think it was a setup. That's why the title of the video says that Robert Burrell was set up by Mokideos, because I think when they were planning all this podcast, even when Alex was inviting Robert Burrell to the podcast, he knew that he's going to invite the sister. That's why he was, first of all, inviting Robert Burrell, first of all, so that he can be able to get his side of the story. And then now, when he talks about the whole thing, now he invites his sister to blow things up. Because when the sister was invited, the first thing she said that her worst experience, her worst life was when she was Robert Bulare. She made the wrong decision marrying him. Well, I don't know how true it is, because according to her, the things she's trying to expose are private things that she's not supposed to have talked about. Yeah. You might differ with someone in so many things, but you don't supposed to. Sorry, I don't know whether it's okay now. I think it's okay. So you're not supposed to expose someone's private life. There are so many people that have, you know, separated because probably the husband is not functional when it comes to bad matters. It happens. It's kind of, you don't blame someone because they don't really perform. So if you don't feel like staying, you just quit pole pole na usiharibie mtu jina yake, because Robert has been a public figure, he has been a motivational speaker, but now trying to tarnish his name just because he wasn't performing in bed is not a good thing. That is his own private life. and you're not supposed to pin him down just because you know his weakness. Because when she was invited, the first thing she started saying was that having him in their first, what do you call it, honeymoon, it was also a little bit, they were not having sex, you know, those kind of things. And when they resumed into their marriage, it still continued to be another celibate life. So I think this is something that probably they could have talked about it, try to solve. And if she cannot be able to handle that kind of a life, or maybe, in my own opinion, probably Robert should have told the wife that this is how I am. If you can be able to bear with it, well and good. If you can't, let's not go to it. Because I think that was a mistake that Burale made. Yeah, the biggest mistake that Robert Burale made was to marry the Makideos, was to marry from, the Teso, the Teso thing, such kind. Because one of my friends, Martin, once told me that the ladies from Taita wanapenda kukusanya kuni from Boni Forest. They really like kuni sana, wanapenda kuota kuni sana. They are really hot because there is a lot of kuni around Boni Forest. So that was a mistake that Borele made, marrying from Taita, marrying from people from Boni Forest. It was a big mistake, and probably that's why he's now suffering from this kind of expose that is exposing his private life. Mm. So that is my opinion, because I think if she was smart enough, she could not have talked about these private things, these kind of things that he did not want to say. And if he did not want to say them, why should you expose him? And you know the kind of damage that is going to cost him, is going to cost his career. Yeah, because I believe she should not have said all these things in a public podcast. Because at the end of the day, it is not his fault. It is his fault that it's not functioning. Probably if it was something, because she said that he wasn't physical, he wasn't beating her, he wasn't abusing her. It's just that things in the bare matters are not working. So if that is the only thing, I think they could have sorted it in a different way. So, guys, tell me in the comment section what do you think about this story that is unfolding. Yeah, many people have voiced out there saying that this was a setup, and I believe it was a setup. Yeah, they did it on purpose. They invited him for the fast so that they can be able to expose him. And then when now the lady was invited, she came full blast to say things that should remain in private. Those are things that are supposed to remain in private. Her saying that she thinks that probably is, attracted to the same sex. I doubt whether that is a thing, because even him said it categorically that it happens that people marry, but they are kinda attracted to those other kind of things, which I doubt whether him is part of this thing. Okay, so that is my opinion, guys, and I am strongly believing that it was a setup, and probably if Mwakideo wants to grow his struggling, podcast, he should not do this, you know. And I think it worked for him. When they did that video, now the channel is kind of getting attention when it was struggling. Right now, he's getting more views because he tried to expose the former uh, brother-in-law. I think sometimes people just need to style up and at least try to respect other people's spaces. Okay, so thank you guys for watching the video. Yeah, let me know what you think about all this and many more. We're gonna be doing more kind of live streams and many more. So it's my first stream. So if you want to support me, like the video, subscribe, and share your opinion in the comment section. And tell me what do you think. Was it a setup or it's me who is thinks that it was a setup? I don't know why it's going. Okay, so thank you guys. Big up yourself. Yeah, let's keep the conversation going. This is the Turning Point Africa. By the way, on this channel, we're gonna be speaking more on the things that concern Africans, concern the growth of African in terms of marriage, sorry, lifestyle, business wise. So these are things that we're gonna be talking about on this uh, live stream. So in the near future, we're gonna be doing more long form live streams. So this was a test, and let's see whether it's gonna work. Okay.